My wife whooshed when a woman was thirsty for her. My wife and I used to be vendors at local anime/pop culture/video game conventions around our province. We often stayed with friends at different cities we visited as this gave us a chance to catch up and have fun after each day. After one convention, we went out to karaoke with our friends to unwind. It was a small local dive bar where most of the patrons were regulars and new singers for karaoke are cheered heartily. My wife was in her late 30s and, despite my insistence of her beauty, starting to feel a little self-conscious about her looks and age. She comes from the Philippines and also lived in Taiwan where karaoke was a common pastime, so she is actually a really talented as a singer. She sang a song or two to the cheers of the crowd and one woman bought her a drink as congratulations for a wonderful song. Later, that same woman asked my wife to duet a couple of songs. My wife was so happy that someone other than just close friends wanted to hear her sing and was so supportive. The woman eventually joined our table and sat beside my wife opposite me and chatted up my wife for the rest of the night. Soon, when we're all ready to leave, the woman asks if my wife is staying with friends or needs a room seeing as we are from out of town. Hint! Hint! My wife says we already booked a place to stay but thanks anyways and maybe we can do karaoke again soon because it was so fun. We leave back to our Airbnb, and as soon as we were in the door I mentioned how cruel my wife was to break that poor lesbian's heart. Huh? What do you mean? She was just being friendly. I laid it out to my wife that the woman bought drinks, sang duets, then sat beside her, and was touchy-feely for the rest of the evening. She was hitting on my wife all night, and my wife was oblivious. I watched as all the pieces finally started to fall into place in my wife's mind. OMG! What? Why didn't you tell me sooner? My wife was both hilariously embarrassed and flattered that another woman was attracted to her in such a way. To this day I still tease her about the one that got away. Planned a birthday trip for mom but mom cancelled last minute as she wants to take my two younger brothers with us and I refused. I've been planning for a while now to travel with my mom for her birthday. Planned the whole thing and would pay for all of it. For context, I am not really close with my family. I've been away since college and go home 1-2x a year since I started working. I'm the eldest and was always taken for granted in our family, despite that I always try to do anything and give them everything just so I can win some affection. During my elementary and high school days, I've always been an achiever, always getting awards, even graduated as valedictorian. They did not go my graduation, my dad left us when I was in college then my mom got her second husband 2 years after that. I had to drop out of school when dad left us and started working to support my family and even when my mom met her second husband, I'm still sending them money to help them out. Lately I've been feeling burnt out and talked to my mom about my frustrations that I always felt like they only think of me when they need money but when they have money, they forget about me and don't even text me to ask me how I am. I've been working for 10 years now to support them and I just feel so tired and sick of all of it now. We argued and my mom pulled her guilt card again to guilt trip me but I endured it and did not talk to her for 2 weeks. It's been a month since then and her birthday is coming up. I've been planning our trip even prior to us having a fallout so I reached out and told her about it. I said I plan a trip and asked her if she wants to come. At first she said she have something scheduled that week so she can't come but I insisted so she initially agreed. Few days before our trip she mentioned that she wants our youngest brother to come but I declined saying that he got school during those days and also if I let him come, my other 2 brothers would also want come and I don't want to be unfair. She said she'd talk to them. Ending, all my younger brothers want to come and I had to pay for all of them so I said no, I don't have extra budget for them, they have school and I want it to be just for adults instead. After saying that my mom decided to cancel the trip instead and told me I should just send them money and they'll just go out to eat instead. She's asking me money so they can eat out when I won't even be part of it as I live 7 hours away from them. I don't know, it just hurts that I have a family but it feels like they don't treat me as one, they only see me as a cash cow since I can provide them money. I'm just ranting here as I don't really have anyone to talk to. I just want to sleep and never wake up anymore. Just so tired. For a change, I just want to feel that I'm not all alone, I have a family and I'm also important. Can no one have an opinion these days? So recently, I wrote a blog about the new laws that our governor in the state of Florida has passed. I actually went to the government website and copied the laws word for word. I posted this, and wouldn't you know it? The haters came for me, and you wouldn't believe how many haters came at me. Calling me all kinds of names like. I even said in the blog that I got this from a government website, but it didn't matter. People have no respect for one another. People cannot stand that another person has an opinion that is different than theirs. They will jump all over you. They will call you names. They will even try to cancel you. This is getting ridiculous. Everyone's allowed to have their own opinion. Don't you remember what your mother told you? Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. It's fine. If you don't like somebody's opinion, then keep scrolling. But you don't get to call somebody names because you don't agree with their opinion. Please grow up. Trust and believe there are many times I'm scrolling and I see something and I don't agree with somebody's opinion. Well, I have 3 choices, and you know what they are? I could either delete them. I can block them. Or I could just keep scrolling and shut my damn mouth. I don't need to get on their page and tell them what an idiot I think they are because their opinions are different from mine. Who the hell am I? That I feel so important or entitled to think that my opinions are the end-all, be-all. What's that going to solve? Is it going to make them change their opinions? Of course it's not. So mind your damn business and keep it moving. So today, my friends, and all the haters out there. Newsflash! Everyone is entitled to their opinion. You don't get to bully them to change their mind. Your opinion is just that, your opinion. That is why we live in a free country. We all get to have our own opinions without being prosecuted. So get over yourself, because it seems like no one can have an opinion these days. Be the change you want to see. My neighbor had the wrong impression of me. I moved into a new apartment 3 months ago. I've hardly had any contact with the neighbors so far, just a friendly greeting in the stairwell, exchanging phone numbers, a bit of chit-chat about the garbage disposal, a few questions about the neighborhood, but that's about it. Today I had an accident in the kitchen and was bleeding quite badly and it just wouldn't stop. So I messaged my neighbor on WhatsApp and asked if he could help me. He's a young guy, maybe 25, and I'm 29 myself. He came over and helped me bandage my wound with my first aid kit. Then he started asking questions about me. I didn't think anything of it. He asked me if I didn't have a job and I said yes, I do. And he was like, then why are you always at home? And I was like, I work from home. And he was like, always? And I was like, yes. Then he wanted a tour of the apartment and I showed him around. I was like, when everything is ready, I'll invite you and your girlfriend over and show you my apartment and we'll have a beer. He immediately came up with an excuse as to why his girlfriend wasn't coming. He was like, she's shy. And I thought that was strange but thought okay. Then we chatted for an hour and then he said before he left, haha EY, I thought you were going to kill me or something, and I was like, Hawaii? And he was like, yeah, your voicemail sounded way too relaxed, I didn't believe you that you actually had a bad wound, and I was like, okay, and he left. And I'm just wondering, what could I have done that would make him think I was a crazy person or a killer? Stepdads no more. Hey everyone, just thought I'd share a true story of why I will never get into a relationship with single mums. My friend 48M, let's call him Dave, meet his now wife, Sarah, 46F, 18 years ago. Sarah was a single mum to a 6-year-old daughter called Cassie. Sarah worked part-time at the coffee shop and lived in a 1-bedroom flat with little to no money. She met my friend Dave in the coffee shop after he came back from a business meeting. Dave is very well off, built his own business in cosmetics and making big money. Anyway, they hit it off. Back then single mums weren't as much as a problem they are now, so he ended up marrying her and she moved into his massive 8-bedroom detached house in the country. He even gave her a position in the company to make her feel like she wasn't being such a leech. He took them on lavish holidays twice a year and paid for private education. Cassie, now 23 years old, met her partner a few years back. They decided they wanted to get married and Dave was happy to fund most of the wedding expenses. Anyway, Cassie then decided she wants to reach out to her biological father who she's not seen for 20 years. They got talking and she told him that she's getting married. After some time talking back and forth for a few weeks, Cassie told her mom, Sarah, that she doesn't want Dave, stepdad, to walk her down the aisle but instead her biological dad. Sarah agreed with Cassie, but Dave was not happy. He just couldn't understand that he raised her as his own daughter, paid for everything, loved her and cared for everything she did, but when it came to walking her down the aisle, Dave was a nobody. Sarah and Dave fought for some time. Eventually Sarah forced Dave to allow Cassie's biological father walk her down the aisle. Since then Sarah and Cassie have been very distant from Dave. When they do try to talk about the issue, they call him words like selfish and controlling. It's been really difficult for Dave. I can only pray that he can find his way out of this mess. It's for reasons like this single mums are no-go zone for all men.